Hi, family. I posted a video a few days ago about my narcissistic, stalkerish ex. I hate saying that, but let's just call it what it is. And a lot of you had a lot of questions and a lot of concerns about some of the things that I said in the video. So let's just call this a follow up, or, just answering with more receipts, okay? One of the questions I got was, how can I meet someone and just date them and almost marry them within a year's time? And this has been the narrative since this story has started coming out. I actually knew this guy from childhood. We knew each other from Africa. We used to go to the same church. His uncle was the pastor of the church. He's older than me, however. Him and my oldest brother, who is in his 40s, are friends, or were friends. They're not friends anymore. Brother can't stand his guts. Secondly, we also fast forward years later. We also lived in the same state, Ohio. And again, family friends. When my brother came from Australia to visit me, I think I was graduating my first nursing degree. My brother came to visit me. He showed up. He showed up, hung out with my brother. My brother was staying, of course, with us in the house. He stayed, came around. He was always in the DMs, always trying to talk to me. And I'll put some screenshots years and years ago. Mind you, keep this timeline in mind, okay? We started dating in 2021. I'm sorry, yes, 2021, March of 2021. And the relationship ended in March of 2022. There were a few months after that when I was trying to get him out of my house in Georgia, but that's a story for another day. Again, the OG who know the story know, and I'll come back with more if I need to. But that was just to clarify that. Even after that, this happened in 2013, right? After that, he was still always in the DMs. Always, always, always. Fast forward, I think it was 2020, 2017, 2018. I created a page on Instagram to just give nurses their flowers because I'm a nurse myself. So every single day I used to post a new nurse or multiple nurses, and I'll just give them their flowers, encourage them, say a lot of good things about nursing, just encouraging my fellow nurses. So he found this page on Instagram and he started DMing me again, but this time he was pretending like he didn't know who I was. He was asking me my name, if I was, again, Prince Go No Sister, blah, blah, blah. And I called him out. I said, hey, I know who you are. Just without saying his name, I said, hey. And then he was like, oh, I didn't know that was you. I thought you were much younger. I didn't know you are a nurse, blah, blah, blah. It went from there. So again, this was like a family friend. So it went from him asking me about my career, asking me about nursing, asking me about my relationship. At this time, I was heavily pregnant, engaged, and yeah, I was nursing. I was in the nursing. I was working as a nurse. So he asked me all these questions, and then he said, oh, you should hook me up with your friend. I told him I was engaged. I told him I was, planning to get married, having a baby. He proceeded to still hit on me. That didn't go anywhere because I shut it down. I was in a relationship. Again, he turned it back to family friend. I know your brother, so we're like family. So every few years he'll reach out to me. Every few years he'll reach out to me. Fast forward, I'm going through some crazy stuff with my daughter's dad. We break up. He's consistently emailing me and, you know, just DMing me and checking on me and being so nice and advising me and blah, 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 right? And a lot of this story will tell you how stupid I was in a lot of this situation too. Again, I was never a saint, never a saint, okay? I was very stupid. I should have known better. I was naive. I know better now, all right? So anyway, that relationship ends. He's like a confidant at this point, and I'm talking fast because I just want to get this out. He's a confidant. He's calling me. He's checking on me every day, encouraging me. Hey, why don't you, move down here to Georgia? I'm like, no, I grew up here. I'll never move. All my friends and family are here, but everything is falling apart. You should come down here. You'll have a support system, blah, blah, blah. It went from there to then hitting on me again. I was in a vulnerable situation. He was very consistent and persistent. And then he called my brother. This was the part that really got me. Called my brother, who I love and respect. Called my brother, told my brother that he really liked me. Literally cried on the phone. Telling my brother how he's always liked me. He's always been in love with me. He can show the text messages and the DMs over the years to prove that, but I just never gave him a chance. He's a good man. He's single, he's divorced, he wants to take care of me, he's going to be there for me. He presented this beautiful picture to my brother, like a stand-up guy who had a career, who had so much going on for him. And because, again, my brother knows him, my brother knows the family, we all know him, so it was comfortable. And my brother called me and told me, hey, this is what so-and-so said. Do you know about it? I said, yeah, he's been trying to pursue me for years. And my brother goes, give him a chance. He seems like a stand-up guy. I've never seen or heard a grown man cry on the phone or get emotional about how much they like someone. So maybe you should give him a chance. Bam. Give him a chance. Fly down to Atlanta. We go on a vacation. Again, if you know the story, I don't want to go deep into it. So that's how that whole thing started, okay? This was not a stranger. This was someone I knew, and it was like home. It was a comfortable space. I thought I could trust him. And he's very good at presenting a facade, a fake facade. But if you don't know, you don't know. So you'll fall for it. I go to Georgia, ended up finding out that a lot of the things that he was saying was a lie. The relationship was perfect. When I say perfect, it was perfect for the first 6 months leading up to our engagement, and after the engagement. It was perfect. This was the man of my dream. This was the stand-up guy. This was the guy that that any woman will pray for. It was perfect. Anything I want, anything. But again, I'm talking fast so I can get to the point. Where I started noticing the weirdness is how he would talk about his children's mother, how he would talk about women he's dated. The story that he told me never added up. I realized that he was broke. He was in debt. He was making me pay big money because at that time he knew I had money. So he would put me in like uncomfortable situations and basically just manipulate the situation to where I would feel guilty and feel like I have to help him out. And I'm talking big money, okay? So when those stories started not adding up, I started to get turned off by it. And little by little, I started to get turned off. Long story short, you guys think that the famous house that he came online and said a whole bunch of stuff about, the house that he almost unalived me over, you guys think that's the only property that there's a feud over. There are 2 properties. The house he lives in now, in his mom's basement, I own that house. I co-own that house. And we'll get to that. I'll tell you guys more detail about that. So that's the answer to that question. He wasn't a stranger. Secondly, there are 2 houses in question. The one he lives in now in the basement that his mother owns, I own that house too. There's a lawsuit on that house, and we're currently in litigation for that house. So I can't tell you guys a lot of details about that. Second point, the engagement ring. He stole my bank card, swiped it for thousands of dollars. I don't know if I can even tell you guys the price of the engagement ring. Did I know he wanted to engage me? Yes, we had a talk. We went to multiple ring shops. I told him exactly the cut, diamond, this and that I wanted. Again, the same fake facade. I thought this man was going to use his money to buy me an engagement ring because he loves me so much and wants to wife me up within less than 6 months of us being together, right? This man took my money, bought a ring I get a notification on my phone that somebody just swiped my card for thousands of dollars. When I asked him about it, he got emotional. He cried. You're a big YouTuber. You're famous. I didn't want to buy you a cheap ring, but don't worry. I'll pay you the money back. I'll pay it back to you. Don't worry. Please don't tell anybody. I was like, why would you spend that kind of money to buy me an engagement ring? But not only that, why would you spend my money to buy me that kind of ring, right? I'll pay you back. I'll do this. I'll do that. I called the engagement off, moved to a different state. I want to get away from this guy. It got really toxic, restraining orders, all of these things happened. Fast forward, years later, close to 3 years later, he's suing me for the engagement ring. So that's the second court case. So we have 2 court cases that are pending. I want to let you guys know that he's a scary individual, but I'm not afraid of him. I'm standing up for myself and I'm fighting. So for those 2 cases that I just told you about, I'm suing. He sued me, but I'm countersuing. And I'm suing for lawyer fees. I'm suing for distress, pain, and suffering. Everything you can think about, I'm suing back. But I'll be back with you guys with more details about this topic. Comment if you want to hear more. And like I said, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm not keeping quiet anymore. I'm talking, and I'm talking a lot. So stay tuned for more.